It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Beavertown Brewery. They seem to be making a bit of a kind of a pushback in the supermarkets of late. It's probably a big push by Heineken. Now, started to see the first beers hit Sainsbury's about 4 months ago. They brought out an IPA, which I wasn't too keen on. Then they brought a beer into Tesco. They've actually brought 3 beers into Tesco. I found the first beer on the first run when I went to my local Penarth Tesco, and then I kind of like almost gave up on the second 2 cans. I'll show you the second can now. This is Beavertown Solar Flare Hazy Double IPA. That's coming to the channel soon. But I went playing golf on the weekend. Not kind of, you know, executive style deals on the golf course style golf, you know, don't have my own bag, don't have my own clubs. It was taking the kids to like a miniature 9-hole golf course, and I had loads of fun. On the way back, my family who we went with, we decided to have a barbecue. So there's another Tesco on the way home, and we dropped in there for some food, which I'll just show you some of the kind of the fire pit stuff from Tesco. Coincidentally, we're having another barbecue this weekend. We bought too much food. Hence I'm defrosting it. But anyway, whilst we were in Tesco, I thought to myself, let's have a little look down the beer aisle. It was a Tesco out near the Steelworks in Cardiff, a big Tesco, and they had 2 Beavertown beers and 2 Buxton beers, which I missed out on the first run of picking up the first load of beers. So I'm quite happy actually, from almost giving up on the beers, to finding another 2 Beavertown cans. This is Beavertown Lunar Haze Hazy IPA, 4.5% ABV, 330 milliliter can. Lovely artwork on this. I've complained slightly recently about kind of Beavertown, the artwork not being so crazy, not being so good, but that's like the Beavertown of old. It really is. Let's get the beer out into a glass, see what we get. 330 milliliter can. I bought this as a box of, it was a box of 4 cans. And forgive me, because I was in there predominantly buying barbecue food, I just kind of had a little run round with my trolley, chucked them in the trolley, and off I went again. So I didn't concentrate too much on the price. But I don't, a year or so ago, you used to be able to buy these boxes, these 4-pack boxes, 330 milliliter can. You used to be able to buy 2 packs for £9. Whether that's still a deal or not, whether that's still available, that would make this beer about £1.24 a can, which would be incredible. I got a funny feeling that deal's gone. I got a funny feeling that deal's not no more in 2022. We have a 1 to 2 finger Whitehead, a good straw coloured hazy looking beer, nice levels of carbonation rolling up the side of the glass. So the Beavertown beer that we reviewed from Tesco recently was good. I liked it. I quite enjoyed it. It was an IPA. It was decent. Better than the Sainsbury's beer. I wasn't a fan of that. I just thought it was really bland. But I'm hoping for good things with this. Let's get the aroma. Yeah, it's got a kind of pineapple chunk aroma to it. A little bit of grapefruit. A little bit of tangerine orange coming through. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. It's my first thought, and I'll be honest with you, before I thought of anything else, was it's inoffensive. It's kind of that first taste. Yeah, the first word that entered my house was It's just inoffensive beer. Let's try and kind of work on that a little bit and pull some more flavours. It's a funny one. There's tangerine, there's a little bit of grapefruit, a little bit of pineapple chunk. It's very refreshing, unbelievably refreshing beer. A little sprig of carbonation pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. Light, it's like you've squeezed a few tangerines into a glass and you've got that really light kind of tangerine juice going on. The more I'm drinking it, the more I'm enjoying it. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's quite nice for 4.5% ABV. I just think it's a really nice, smashable, drinkable, low ABV. I mean, Hazy IPA. There's a few companies. I'm going to grab a company from a beer from another company now. Brewdog have done the same thing here, 4% ABV, Hazy IPA. Beavertown have done it, 4.5% ABV, Hazy IPA. What happened to pale ales? What happened to pale ales, session IPAs? That's, for me, it's more in keeping with the style. I think the word IPA these days is like, there's so many people looking to drink IPA. So many people. Like, it's almost like it's got its own marketing term. You put IPA on the can, people are just going to go out and go, oh, there we are, we'll try this new IPA. Oh, yeah, it's tropical, it's fruity, blah, blah, blah. So it's probably just a marketing term that, you know, Hazy IPA and then 4.5% ABV, or in Brewdog's term, 4% ABV. Maybe that's enough for the majority of people these days that buy supermarket IPA. Maybe it's just a way of simplifying to the general beer drinker who's maybe slightly moving away from drinking Carling or Foster's. They want to try these kind of new beers, but they don't want to be confused with session IPA or pale ales. But for somebody who's been drinking craft beer now for 13, 14 years, it almost seems a little lazy. It almost seems a little like you're just chucking all your eggs in the IPA basket. Call everything an IPA. Call it an Hazy IPA, or, you know, as long as you got that 4.5 or you got the ABV on the end, as long as you're telling people what the ABV of the IPA is. But the reason why I'm slightly complaining here is because IPA, of course, the old standard measurement of IPA used to be, you could call an IPA after 6% ABV. Before that, it was called a pale ale or a session IPA. So definitely this 4.5% Lunar Haze Hazy IPA 5 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago, would have been called a session IPA. I don't think it's overly confusing to call a session IPA, is it? Because you're buying a box of 4 beers. It's 4.5% ABV. The likelihood is that you're going to session these 4 cans. It's why they've put 4 cans in the box. Why not just stick with hazy? But yeah, well, I'm getting confused now. Session IPA. But anyway, that would be my only slight criticism with this beer, is that everything seems to be called IPA these days, and that's just not for Beavertown, that's for Brewdog as well. Anyway. But actually, quickly going back to the point here, I just had a look now. So in terms of naming, so they've explained that it's a hazy double IPA here at 8% ABV. So they feel the need to explain that the beer is 8% ABV. It then needs to be called a double IPA for the 8%. That's correct. That is 100% correct in what it's saying. But they're failing here to do the same thing with the 4.5%. Session IPA it should be called. But anyway, let's rate it. I like this, I do. It's different, it's refreshing, it's juicy, it's drinkable. It's not going to blow the mind of the bottle shop craft beer drinker, I promise you that. But standing here on the morning of what's going to be the hottest day of the year, and I can already feel the radiation coming through the walls, I can feel how sticky it is in the UK. It's all right, it's drinkable, it's refreshing, it's chuggable. It's just what I want for this time of year, in this heat. I like that. I like that enough to give it. I'm going to give it a little bit more of a score than I give the Brewdog Lightspeed an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give this Lunar Haze a 9. I actually think it's good enough to give it a 9 out of 10 for the money that we paid for this beer. Even though we don't know what we paid for this beer. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.